This Math 1033 Test 1 review video is going to encompass two questions. I'm going to do problem number 10 and problem number 11 together because they both involve formulas. The first one refers to the volume of a cube, and the second one refers to a circle formula, in this case the circumference of a circle. So what we're going to do, if you'll come with me down to my paper, let me bring you around here. Alright. First thing you need to remember before we actually answer question number 10 is you need to know a formula. A very important key here to this formula: a cube, obviously being three-dimensional, has both a length and a width and a height, and for a cube they're all the same. So you may recall a formula for the volume of a cube. The volume of a cube in general, V is equal to S to the third power, where S is the length of one of its sides. Since in a cube the length, width, and height are all the same length, we'll call them S. Now, also remember, if somebody were to tell you to cube something, they would be telling you to raise it to the third power. So that's a clue if someone's asking you to find the volume of a cube. Now in this particular problem, what we're being asked to do is we're being asked to find the length, or rather the volume of a cube whose length has side 5ABC. So in this particular problem, to find the volume of that specific cube, the length of one of the sides is 5ABC, and this entire side is being, or this length, which represents the length of one side, is being raised to the third power to find the volume. When you do that correctly, 5 to the third power, of course, is 125. A to the third, B to the third, and C to the third. Now, that technically is not done, because when you're giving somebody an answer, especially in a science class, when you need to be a little bit more accurate in the way you answer things, what you should really write as the final part of your answer that just makes it look perfectly correct is you should also put off to the side here cubic units. So that would be the most appropriate way to answer this question. The volume would be 125 A to the third, B to the third, C to the third cubic units. If the original measurement was in inches, you would be talking about cubic inches. If it was in feet, cubic feet. For example, if you went to buy a refrigerator, you'd be measuring the volume inside that refrigerator in cubic feet. Okay, so basically your formula that you need to remember for the volume of a cube is you take the length of one of the sides and raise it to the third power, and then you always make sure your answer is given with the correct units, in this case cubic units. Alright, the next question also involves a formula, but this time we're asked to work or to state the formula for the circumference of a circle. Now, in general, if I draw a circle for you, let me kind of do my best here to freehand draw a circle and stop the paper from moving. Alright, that wasn't bad for freehand. If you go from the center of the circle and you measure out to the boundary of the circle, you know that that length is called, or that thing that I just drew is called the radius, and its length is usually represented by R. And the formula that you need to know for a circumference of a circle, which is what you're being asked to state here, circumference of a circle, and remember what circumference is, by the way. Circumference is not what's taken up inside the circle. Circumference is how far you would get if you walked all the way around the circle. And the formula for the circumference of a circle, C is equal to 2 pi r. That's a formula that you should commit to memory, especially for future classes. Some of you may need that. Now, another way to write that sometimes is circumference, C, is equal to pi times d, where d represents the diameter of a circle, the length of a diameter. And here's what I want you to understand. A radius goes from the center to the boundary point. A diameter goes all the way across the circle through the center point. So basically, look what I did. If I know this formula is very easy to come up with, because twice the radius would really be 1 diameter. 2r is the same as d. So if you're asked to state the formula for the circumference of a circle, there are two ways you can state it. In terms of the radius, circumference would be 2 pi r. In terms of the diameter, it would be pi times d. And again, remember, circumference measures basically how far it is you walked around a circle.